Transcendentalism means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. There's two main dudes that we are studying about. One is Emerson and one is Thoreau. But they have very different viewpoints of it. The thing is, you, my teacher, are saying that we should do exactly what they say we shouldn't. And there's a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide, that he must take himself for better, for worse, as his portion, that though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him, but through his toil bestowed on that plot of ground which is given to him till. And this really reminded me of a song from Spring Awakening, the musical, not the play, because the play was written in 1894, and apparently that isn't pop culture, but you know, it's fine. And it really reminds me of this, when it says, give me a second. All that's known in history and science, overthrown by school at home by blind men, you doubt them and soon they bark and hound you, till everything you say is just another bad about you. So basically, the education system is messed up, and we're supposed to be in the system of yes, 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 when Emerson is literally teaching us to say no, trust yourself, when we're supposed to be doing this project about him, that we're supposed to trust in you. So the first person I found was Casey Neistat, which kind of inspired me to do this, because I really like his camera angles, and he's super chill. Anyways, but the first one is about education, and how we're kind of forced into this, like, super, like, we're supposed to do this, blah. And he's a high school dropout, and he has an amazing YouTube channel, he has an amazing following, and he's succeeding in life without a American education, without a formal education. We place so much on education and what we're supposed to do that we don't allow any creativity, and that's his job, is creativity. Another thing where Emerson states that we should rely on ourselves rather than some other random thing out there, and we should just trust in ourselves and what we think is in self-reliance, which is where the other quote came from, if you were really wondering. What I must do is all that concerns me, not what other people think. This is seen especially in Miley Cyrus's song Can't Be Tamed, which if you're wondering, it was right before she went all like crazy and stuff, but like right on the tip of that is her lyrics of, they try to change me but they realize they can't. She's saying there that she's agreeing with Emerson, like she's like, society, it's trying to change me, it's trying to take me away from myself, but they really can't. Alright, so for my second thing, the person I found was Miley Cyrus. She's always been like, just be yourself, don't worry about anything else, it's fine. And she represents that in how she is and how she's grown from a child actor to a musician who she is today, and you can hear that in her music. Henry David Thoreau, I was right. Anyways, so he was more, instead of on like the education side and stuff like that, he was more on the government side. Something that he said from civil disobedience was, for government is an expedient by which men would fain succeed in letting one another alone, and as it has been said, when it is most expedient, the governed are the most let alone by it. I found this very interesting, especially in this day and age, when we have social media and all these things, and people are feeling more alone, or are feeling more alone even though we have more friends. So I found a song for this. You know that show Hey Montana? Back to the good old days. There's a song in there called Bigger Than Us, and in this song it has the lyrics, we all want to believe in love, we all want to believe in something bigger than just us. So I feel like this is where he thinks government is coming from. We all want to just believe in this like great, amazing thing that's bigger than us, but it always lets us down because we want to believe in it, but it's not right. But this could also relate to the phrase song You Found Me. It has the lyrics of, Lost and insecure, you found me, lying on the floor. Where were you? Where were you? Why'd you have to wait? And it's basically saying, like, yeah, everyone's caring about their own problems, so we aren't caring about everyone else. So the government is not going to work if we're all just caring about ourselves rather than everyone else. And that is why everything is flawed. Oh. I think a person who really represents this is Nelson Mandela. So he literally defied his government in order to get what he wanted. He was in jail. Like, he did something that most of us would never do in order to get the rights that he deserved. And no matter what, you're never going to make everyone happy. And I think Nelson Mandela really, really portrays that, in which he knows he'll never make everyone happy, so he's just trying to make the majority happy. That's kind of how government works, though. So another quote from Henry is, "There will never be a really true, free, and enlightened state until the state comes to recognize the individual as a higher and independent power, from which its own power, authority are derived, and treats him accordingly." So the song is "Never Let Me Fall" by Cimarelli. And you might be thinking, if you know the song, why in the world are you putting a Christian song in this? Because Christianity and transcentdialism it doesn't work. But in this, they have a lyric of, "Life is so lonely, but I know I'm not alone. That is the only thing I know for sure." In this song, they're saying that, like, they feel alone and they're falling and they're letting go of life, but God is there to catch them. And that's what I think people want with the state. People want the state to recognize them and let them be, like, heard and out there. And the state doesn't do that, then it's not going to work. And that's what's happening. It's not working. Oh no! The last person I would think would fit my last quote greatly is Malala. She went against the state until the state gave her rights. She got shot in the head. She did everything she had to do in order to get states' rights and get her rights and get her education, and that is amazing. But I guess that brings it back to the first one. Is education worth it? How does my project even represent what they were trying to talk about? Here it is. Even though I followed every single one of your points, I did quotes from the packets, I found songs, and I found people. I did it in a way you were not expecting. I did this video because you are going to get probably about 20 projects if you're Mr. McDowell and more if you're the other teachers, because you have more students. But it represents it because it at least lets me be my individual just a little bit. Even though I still have to conform to what you want, I can still be myself. Which is, I feel like, the happy medium between society and transcentdialism. I'm gonna look that word up because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. So, I find this very interesting, this project that she had us do. Because a lot of people are gonna do the same thing on this, and I wanted to be that person that made you think. It made me think. And I don't agree with a lot of this stuff. I feel like you should put trust in other people, not just yourself, and trust in the government, and trust in a higher being, because guess what? You're going to need it someday. You can't just trust yourself for everything. But despite that, this project did make me think. It made me think about what this was, and made me think about how this affects day-to-day life and how much we do use this, even though I might be more altruistic. So yeah.